Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be reviewing Doom 2016 on the PC. First, we will talk about the positives and negatives of the game. I can't get over how well done the gameplay is in this game. Are there some faults? Of course. And I'll go over that soon. But overall, this is one of the best gameplay experiences I've ever had in a video game. Just the overall amount of weapons at your disposal is really good, and they all have a purpose, except for one. I have never switched between so many weapons in a game ever. It was just all so well designed, weapon-wise. I feel like the weapon switching could have been slightly faster, but it wasn't enough to ruin my experience. You may have noticed in that little blurb about the weapons that I mentioned that one of the weapons wasn't as good, and that weapon is the pistol. In my opinion, the pistol was the most useless weapon in the game, because as soon as I got access to the shotgun, I completely stopped using the pistol altogether. I could see this maybe being useful when you've run out of ammo completely, but otherwise this game could have done without that weapon. I also wanted to point out how each level feels different, but somehow stays consistent. What I mean by this is the fact that in the first part of the game, you were in the UAC fighting off demons, and then later on in the game you were placed on the same map. But those maps have been destroyed, so they feel like totally different areas. I absolutely love it when game developers are able to do this, because it may not seem very creative, but to me it is one of the most creative things they can do. To somehow make one map be in the game twice and it not feel like the same map is quite a feat in my opinion. I do have a few negatives about this game. The number one thing that I think this game could have improved on was the size of certain arenas. For most of the game, the battle arenas were really well made, and I feel like the size of the arenas were perfect. For just a couple of the arenas, they were too small, and that really did affect some of the battles that I had. I feel like for a game that is this fast paced and with this amount of enemies, you need to have a big enough area to maneuver and be able to aim properly. So it really helps when the arenas are good size, because in certain arenas I found myself discombobulated because I didn't know where I was, because there were small hallways, as well as the fact that I would sometimes get caught in corners just because the map was too small. If they just improved the size of certain arenas, they would have had a flawless campaign. One other little thing that I would like to point out about the game is the fact that it almost feels too slow. Obviously in the beginning of the game, the gameplay was slow, just to slowly get you into the groove of it, and the more the game progresses, the gameplay obviously gets faster. In my opinion though, it doesn't seem fast enough by the end of the game. I might have a bias to the gameplay being too slow, because I have played Doom Eternal before, and it might be because I'm too used to how quick that game is, that maybe I'm noticing it more in Doom 2016. The sound is fantastic in this game. The best part of the sound for this game is the soundtrack for sure. It's very unique because it's so well entwined within the gameplay. I feel like without the music of this game, the actual gameplay itself would not feel as good as it does. Just the overall feeling you get when the best parts of the music kick in, when you're fighting all the demons, makes you feel so powerful, and it's a lot of fun. The sound effects of the weapons are pretty good as well. My favorite weapon sound is the BFG. Overall, the music is perfect in this game, and I would not change it at all. The graphics get a huge upgrade in this version, considering the last major Doom release was all the way back in the 90s. Yes, I know we still had Doom 3, but I personally wouldn't consider that a major Doom release. Otherwise, the landscapes are really well done in this game, and sets the vibe so well. When you're teleported to hell, hell really does feel like hell. I can see they took some inspiration from Doom 64, just because of the dark and gloomy look of hell, and I think that's the perfect way to encapsulate what a place like that would look like. The replayability factor of this game is incredible. Depending on the difficulty, you would have to be matched up with some of the hardest enemies you can possibly find in the game, and have so many enemies thrown you at once that the replayability is astonishing. There does seem to be more of a story in this game than in the previous iterations of Doom. So let's get into it. Doomguy awakens inside of a sarcophagus. After breaking free and suiting up, he goes across the base to find a satellite array and fix it to figure out what's going on. After this, Doomguy finds a bunch of information on Olivia Pierce. We figure out that she's obsessed with opening a portal to hell, and after doing this, he kills everyone on the base. We are then contacted by the UAC chairman, Samuel Hayden, and we are told to prevent a complete collapse of the UAC. Doomguy learns that Olivia Pierce wants to open a permanent portal to hell. Because of this, Doomguy must destroy all of the Argent energy supply within the base. Unfortunately, Olivia does manage to open up a portal to hell. Doomguy is then sucked into hell and must fight through hell in order to get back to the UAC. Doomguy must find the Crucible in order to close the portal to hell. After destroying the Cyber Demon, the Doomguy managed to get himself back into hell and to destroy the portal for good. We then find Olivia Pierce, who is then betrayed by the leaders of hell and transformed into the Spider Mastermind. After defeating the Spider Mastermind, Doomguy is teleported back into the UAC, but then is betrayed by Samuel Hayden, saying that he must take the Crucible in order to continue their venture with Argent energy. Doomguy is then teleported to an unknown location, and that's when the game ends. Overall, the story was pretty good, and I enjoyed that this game had more of a storyline. Usually the story is very easy to understand, as well as taking a very big back seat to the actual game itself. I enjoyed that they took the storyline in a more serious direction, and it makes the game more interesting to play just because of how interesting it is altogether. I'm a sucker for lore, and this game does it so well. This game was a fantastic addition to the Doom franchise. It had fantastic music, as well as some of the best gameplay I've ever seen in a video game. The gameplay is fast-paced, the story is well done, and overall this game makes you feel like a total badass. I would highly recommend the game to anyone who is a fan of Doom, or just wants a fast-paced game to make you feel like a god. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you in the next video.